What's up, guys? Welcome to the first ever episode 148 of the Kind of Funny Gamescast. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by one of the coolest dudes in video games, Greg Miller.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Actually,
fantastic.
I'm tired.
Yeah, that's
I got a
true.
scratchy throat. I'm worried I'm getting sick going to the Game Awards PSX.
Yeah, you got the weekend, the December weekend.
This is the big weekend. This is the big one.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm actually very excited for the Game Awards. We're dating ourselves a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
we won't talk. You're excited for them. This is being recorded the Wednesday before the Game Awards. It will post the Friday after the Game Awards. So we will leave it at that. They're excited for Game Awards.
It's a weird timeline, but I'm very, very, very excited for it. I imagine that yesterday when it happened, it was amazing, and a lot of crazy reveals happened. And Crash,
I can't believe that
came out,
I can't
and
believe
Crash
that
Team Racing HD happened.
One game of the year, you know?
Yeah. Oh my God, it was shocking. Absolutely shocking.
They fucking better announce Crash Team Racing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We'll see.
Not
It's not
happen?
gonna happen.
No.
Not gonna happen.
Okay.
This is a Gamescast. Each and every week we get together right here on youtube.com/kindoffunnygames for all of the free people out there that just want to listen to us for free. But if you wanted to pay, you can get it early. Where, Greg?
Patreon.com/kindoffunnygames each and every Friday.
Oh my God, you get it early Friday, or you can watch it live along with us like so many people are doing right now for just $1. Is this one going to be worth the $1? We'll have to see. I'm definitely not going to guarantee it right now.
What do you mean?
This one, I don't know about, Greg.
Why do you know about it?
I don't know.
Last time we did a one-on-one, it was great.
It was great.
And the Reddit and the kids have been saying they want us to.
want
We
some more
don't
one-on-ones?
force guests in there.
Yeah.
Bring on. Just do the show. We're there to hang
I'm
out and
totally
talk to you
up for
guys. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
I feel like this
about
is a leisurely one. We're on the little lazy river.
Lazy River. I like Lazy River. Big fan of them.
Do you want me to give you your first topic of discussion?
You know what, Greg? I want to say shout out to Patreon producer Tom Bach. And then I want you to give us a topic of discussion. Hit me.
Hashtag Greg was right. Did you see this Kotaku story from 16 minutes ago? WWE 2K18 Switch port is gnarly. Told you it was going to be a piece of trash.
It's out today?
Yeah.
As of
If you're the kind of person who watches WWE matches on 75% speed, WWE 2K18 Switch port may be for you. For others, not so much. Released today, the port has fans begging for a frame rate patch. WWE 2K18 is about 23 gigs on the Switch. That's 10 gigs bigger than Zelda Breath of the Wild. Like other third-party Switch games, it's a big old clunker, but firing it up, it's hard to say why. It doesn't look great. There's a video of it running like crap. Since the port's released this morning, fans have been questioning why entrance cutscenes are in slow motion. When I played the game, at first I thought the wrestlers were putting on a show of being extra intimidating. But no, AJ Styles wasn't jumping up and down in an anti-gravity wrestling chamber. Frames were just dropping.
Wow.
It's terrible, apparently.
That
So,
sucks.
who would have predicted it? Big old Greg Miller. Don't trust him.
It's really weird that it's just came out of the blue. I was like, no release date. Oh, tomorrow.
Yeah, on a Wednesday?
Not good. Yeah.
Super. It was very weird that they went so quiet, but that was your first sign that there's talk of, no, it's going to be feature complete and be awesome, just like the other versions.
It sucks when there's other games that are totally great, like L.A. Noire and all those other things that people are having a great time with. Skyrim.
Yeah.
It's
Rocket League.
Yeah. It's like, come on, 2K. Step yo shit up.
I mean, the WWE franchise in general with 2K needs to be stepped up.
Yo shit
They just need to just fucking do No Mercy again. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Just take it.
I'm with you.
It'd be
Greg.
perfect. It'd be close enough. Nobody wants the sim wrestling game. We don't need it. We all know wrestling's fake.
I feel like I've asked you this before.
Sure.
But I am stupid and I forget things. Did you play that more lighthearted, fun, colorful wrestling game that came out?
WWE All-Stars?
Yeah.
From way back in the day you're talking about. Or you mean recently?
Came out like last gen. Just last gen.
They
They were very big and cartoony looking.
Yeah, okay, yeah. WWE All-Stars. Yeah, I reviewed it.
And?
Yeah, it's fine. It went too far the other way. The reason the N64, No Mercy, WCW, NWO Revenge, WrestleMania 2000 games, whatever you want, the AKI engine of gameplay works is the fact that it looks real enough and has the realistic physics and stuff and things and blood and weapons and all that jazz, but the cartoony look of it isn't a cartoon. It's just it's that game's style. When they went with WWE All-Stars, they had a grappling system and mechanics similar to what people wanted from that. But then it was like, oh, it's a suplex. He's jumping 30 stories in the air and slamming them down. There's colorful not entrails. There's colorful colorful trails coming off of the move and shit. It's like, no, that's not what I want. I just want it to be a simple game. It's the same problem with
Like more of an NBA Street instead of an NBA Jam.
NBA Street was kind of crazy too. Yeah, it's just wrestling. The No Mercy game and the N64 games weren't crazy. They were just, hey, this is the style of the game, and it worked, and it got over the uncanny valley thing of it because people will argue with me, and maybe you. The WWE 2K games look great. They look stunning. The character models are amazing. However, when you then try to put Chris Jericho's hair on his amazing looking feature photo body, it doesn't look right. You are immediately like, oh, the hair looks like it's from the PlayStation 3 generation, which in PlayStation 3 are like, it looks like it's from the PlayStation 2 generation.
Yeah.
Like, they
got to get that Star Fox fur technology
exactly.
that Nintendo had.
You're never gonna get a photorealistic game that you look at. I mean, like you can glance at the game and be like, oh man, it looks, but like people get into the ropes and wig out. This happens. There was this awesome thing of Kofi Kingston, this bug they showed when it first came out. I think Xavier retweeted it, where they whipped Kofi into the ropes. He came back and then ran into the other side of the ropes, but didn't cue the animation to come back. So he ran into the ropes and the ropes broke away and he just ran out. And just ran out into the crowd, and I believe I'm right. The camera kept panning out of him just running into oblivion.
That's so.
And it's
funny.
like, if you take away the idea that the WWE games are supposed to look like the product, and instead say this is the style of what they look like. It's grounded. It's real. It is a strong grapple. It is a weak grapple. It's a heavy strike. It's a light strike. There you go. Because I mean, WWE 2K whatever has a million problems. I think why it isn't a hit with the fans? Why isn't it a hit with the general public? All these different things. I think number one, though, is just the fact that No Mercy, that series was so easy for anyone to pick up and play and understand what's going on and do something cool. WWE struggles with that, right? And or 2K games struggle with that, where it's just like me and Cool Greg will be playing and it's like, all right, cool. Oh, this is a base submission. Oh, you tapped out to that because neither of us understand this mechanic. And
that's not fun.
And sure, a couple matches we'll learn it if we want to, but what about when somebody else wants to pop in and play?
Yeah.
And I say all this and Andy kicked my ass and beat me for the world title in it, so, whatever. But the WWE series, man, what a heartbreaker. Just go do that.
Yeah.
Because again, it would also make it easier to create people. You create people in this game, and it's the same thing. Oh man, I scanned my face and I put it in there.
You look like a doofus.
It kind of, I don't look right. I don't look right.
You don't
but
look
with
right.
in the AKI engine, it was like,
it's close
since
enough.
everyone looks close enough
like
to themselves. Yeah, exactly. You have this or Animal Crossing. Okay, cool. Everybody looks enough where you look at it and you go, oh, that's you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The amount of people who screen cap my Animal Crossing profile and send it back to me like, man, this guy looks just like you. He's just doing the same stock pose everybody does when you go visit their campsite, right? But because it's kind of one I do, you see it in everybody. You see Gary Wood out there. Yeah, that looks like Gary. But it's just because we all kind of look like each other.
Yeah. Oh, that's super funny. Greg, what have you been playing?
Right before this, I booted up. Because it's, again, Wednesday of recording. Last night I had complications and things to do. The complication being the Gamescast with Dan Reichert that'll go live in a couple weeks.
Fantastic Gamescast. That
fantastic.
Worth the $1.
This one's worth it too. Are you not having fun?
I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying
Are you not
sure
enjoying yourself?
I'm not sure that it is. Make it worth it for me, Greg. Destiny 2, you were playing it. What happened?
Curse of Osiris is out. I didn't get to go home and play it last night with the clan or anybody like that, or even Andy Gomez over there. I don't know why I want to call him Gomez, but that's what I even before I said it, it was Andy Gomez. And I would have corrected it, but then I was like, Andy Gomez sounds funny. I'm going to say it.
Okay.
So yeah, I was doing another podcast today, so I didn't do our show, so I got in here late and I was able to pop in and just play a little bit. It's interesting because I walked into it blind for the most part. Yesterday after Kind of Funny Games Daily, I saw Andrea and I were hanging out and she looked at her phone. She's like, oh no. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Destin tweets that like, he's kind of let down by Curse of Osiris. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, wow, okay, whatever. And I just ran through just the single-player story part of it, just not all the way through it, but a healthy portion of it.
How long is that?
I don't know. How much did I play? Or how long is single-player?
How long is just the single-player?
I don't have that information. What I've enjoyed doing with Destiny is, since I enjoy it and I want to play it and I want to experience it, I go blackout on it. Like, because especially, as you know, and I'm sure that people here know, I have the Platinum in Destiny. I love Destiny. I am not a Destiny expert. I am totally probably, if you talk to Bungie about who they want to do a track to Destiny, I'm that person. Of like, I really like this game. I'll play it. I'm not going to play it fucking 40 hours every week. I'm not going to run the raid over and over and over and over again. I've done it like 4 times maybe. I'm like, I enjoy this and I'm looking forward to new DLC and I'm excited to have it.
Yeah.
So when Destin says he doesn't like it, that's a very different thing of me saying I don't like it. I don't know how long it is because I didn't know what I was jumping into. I jumped in, started playing this story. Beautiful environments on Mercury. I think the new characters that I'm dealing with are interesting and cool. We're dealing with multiple timelines and, alternate realities. I'm like, that's fucking, all right. Yeah, that's fucking rad. I like all the stuff that's happening here. I'm into it. I'm enjoying it. I'm, of course, stopping to tweet and do all this other stuff because that's how Destiny is. You get to a place and, you fuck around. You half listen to it. I got to a good stopping point. We got here. But I'm playing and then, like, I got new gear, right? And like, this is my favorite thing, of course, because I was at 303 when, to bring you up to speed, 305 would have been the cap before for power or your light level or whatever, your damage and stuff. And so, I don't care about being close. It's just now that I'm playing single player content, which is what I prefer. And now people are dropping things that's better gear.
Cool.
So I'm like back on the gear treadmill of like, oh man, this is awesome. I didn't even realize I don't even know how far it goes. And then I went in to equip it. It's like, oh, you have to be level 21. And I was like, they increased the level cap? Awesome. I'm playing this game like, this is exactly what I wanted. More Destiny. Yay. And no new trophies. I'm like, all right, well, I'll wait for the big expansions to bring them, but whatever. I was like, wow. And it was that thing of like, cool, now that I've played a bit, I need to go find out like, what is the new level cap and how, what is the new power level? Level cap's 25 now. Exciting. Power.
You are what?
It was capped at 20, so I just hit 21.
Got it. Okay. Cool.
And then light level is now 335. Apparently, this is what I read. Maybe there's with mods I can get up to 340. Who the fuck knows? But that's what I read. And so I'm getting new weapons. I'm getting all this thing. The engrams I'm trading in with people who I know don't gloss over. Don't lose it. I'm talking to people trading in fucking faction tokens and all this shit that I've been just sitting on forever, and it's actually giving me things that are exactly. It's actually giving me things that are worthwhile, which hasn't happened with certain people in a long time. So it's like, oh man, awesome, more Destiny, yay! And then I got to a stopping point, and I was like, so what is the problem? Like, why is everybody mad? You know what I mean? And I finally ventured into the subreddit threads that I haven't understood, and then talked to Destiny a little bit, and it's like, oh, okay, no, I understand why everybody's mad.
And why is that, Greg?
At right now, as of us recording this, the high-end content from before, which would include the Nightfall Prestige and then the Prestige Raid, which are like the super hard versions of the Raid and the Nightfall Weekly, are now locked behind the paywall of the DLC. So this is content you would have had access to if you had hit the proper light level already. You would have been playing this already, and or you could have been playing, or you could have. If you're a PC player, you've had a month and a half to get to this point and play this stuff, which isn't that long. Now they've increased the recommended power level going into this, or light level, which I keep using them interchangeably because again, I enjoy this game. I don't know. I think it's damage level, power level, whatever. Again, it doesn't matter for me because I'm like, all right, yeah, gold edition. Here's Destiny. I'm in, whatever. But if you were just expecting to be able to play that stuff forever, okay, now you can't unless you pay for this. Unless you get.
And what's the price?
$20 for this.
Got it.
Now.
Is that 20 for this and then 20 for the next?
I believe it's 20 just for Curse of Osiris. You could have bought the expansion pack and done, I think it's two more, I forget. Gold edition included it. And full disclosure, I got mine as a reviewer, so I don't even know the thing, right? In terms of what the expansion pack on its own cost. I think cool, Greg, I don't trust you. I'll Google it later. I think it's $89.99 for gold edition, which would have included the expansions and everything. But now that content is locked at this new power level from the new stuff. Now, before we were going live, we were doing the Patreon pre-show. Jordan wasn't, I forget, brought that up, and I was talking about Levi. Yes, that is correct. Levi brought it up. So many of the letters in Jordan and Levi are the same.
Exactly.
They're both biblical names.
Yeah.
Levi brought it up of just like, oh man, like this is happening. Somebody responded like, this is what people wanted. They like, there's a whole thing that I'm not even aware of, right? Because I didn't do Destiny expansion content really until Taken King, and even then I was in and out, didn't care. I guess with Destiny 1, the problem people had is that the raids and like old Nightfalls maybe didn't scale up. And I'm talking a bit out my ass. This is just what I've read now. I'm trying to cobble this all together for commenters, just to make you understand the playing field. They didn't scale up, so they were too easy. So apparently,
like post game in Pokemon Gold and Silver, you go back to Kanto, they're all low level Pokemon. It's like, well, I'm fucking high now. Why the fuck would you give me little Pidgeys?
Apparently,
I get it,
you've nailed it exactly. And so this was Bungie's answer to scale that up. So there's some people in our own YouTube chat right now who are. This is what you wanted, right? You wanted it to scale. And then there's other people like, well, I had access to this content and now it's behind a paywall. That's weird. The real wrinkle to all this that makes it very interesting in the 2017 conversation is the fact that this now locks the Platinum Trophy. because the Platinum Trophy does have a trophy that's finished the raid or the Nightfall on Prestige. And so suddenly we're in the exact same situation Life is Strange was in. If you remember when Life is Strange Before the Storm was coming up, Deluxe Edition was the only one that was going to have the Platinum.
Number 3 got dated today.
Yeah, well, yesterday. Come on now. Keep up. Yeah. You put it in Games Daily again? You son of a bitch. No, it's, what is it? Come Hell or High Water or some shit. Hell something.
Hell is cold.
Hell is cold. That's what they're calling it. Sure. Okay. I'll just nod and move on. But it was the same thing with them where their deluxe edition came with the Max episode Farewell, but you needed to play that originally for the Platinum. And there was enough of an outcry that a day later, they were like, this wasn't on purpose, blah, blah, blah. So when I saw this popping off this morning, I didn't even really acknowledge it because I was like, oh, clearly a mistake.
Fixed.
And honestly, and this is, we've talked a whole bunch about all this shit. I still think they're going to. Yeah. I still think that there's going to be a solution somewhere in this of, cool, this is just a misunderstanding. You guys wanted them to scale with you. We're scaling them with you. But good call. And I assume, like a lot of people, we're developers. We're not trophy whores. We didn't think it through that you can't get the Platinum anymore on the base Destiny game if you just bought that. Our bad. In an upcoming patch, we'll update that trophy and blah, blah, blah. And I would assume that would then fix people's complaints, but I don't know. Again, as I'm Greg and like, yep, I did the Prestige Nightfall to get that trophy, and I'll tell you what, I'm never fucking doing them again because that wasn't fun. Just you know what I mean? Like, I play Destiny to fucking shoot shit, talk to people, move on, get cool gear, and have fun.
So I'm a little confused, and I think it's because
I've done a rambling job of this, and I'm not solid on all of it.
The thing that I'm confused about is, does this affect people? Take the trophy out of it if people don't care about trophies. This is now taking content away from people.
Correct.
Like content that was promised, or
content you already had. That's where it's interesting, and this is. I think they'll solve the trophy problem through Hell or High Water and put a patch on that, and that'll end it. But then it does get to be an interesting question of games as a service. How do you keep something evolving and changing and make the changes the hardest of the hardcore community apparently wanted, but not have it be that you're taking away something they had, right? And this led me then back to the subreddit that I subscribed to, but yesterday, like on the ride home, I'm exhausted and none of it makes sense to begin with. Going through this, like, again, we know it well. The vocal minority, they're the ones that are popping off at the mouth. And I don't know, I said it like they're like, I'm talking about people being mean to IGN and mean in comments and stuff. And obviously there's a lot of mad people on the Destiny subreddit, but some of them are making interesting cases that I can't speak to, as I'm the guy who's like, I don't even know what else is in Curse of Osiris. Like, I want to discover it for myself. I don't want to have it all spoon fed to me. But people are like, this costs the same price as Horizon Zero Dawn's expansion. Like, that's a joke. Like, this is, some guy was talking about how this is really just an Eververse expansion and this, that, and like that's the cosmetic, go buy all this stuff. Yeah. People are mad that there's so much stuff now in Eververse that you can go buy and do it. But it's this fine line Destiny's got to walk. And I don't know for Destiny 2 or Bungie where the balance is, because the subreddit that I read all the time is always mad about everything Destiny related, right? Okay. And Fran Mirabella is always mad about everything Destiny related. But when I play with Alex O'Neill and Trevor Starkey and Cameron and stuff, like, everybody's like, this is fun. I'm having a good time. I just played a bunch and I'm like, this was fun. I want to play more. I like going to Eververse and like turning in the Bright Ingram I just earned and getting a bunch of like shaders and garbage like that. Still haven't spent any money. Well, I spent money there on day one just to see what it was like, but I have never spent money. There's all the time. She has shaders where I'm like, that's a cool shader. If I spent silver and broke it down into bright, I'm like, no, we're not doing this. Like, I will be mismatched. And when I finally get back to top gear level, I'll paint myself the color I want to be and let it roll for a week or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know. And I think it's fascinating to watch, as I've said a million times in 2017, how these games as services have to evolve, change, and then in this Destiny case of a sequel, reach to a new audience but not alienate the old. Yeah. Like, I'm here and that's such a challenge. I'm having a great time. When, Polygon put up that piece a couple weeks ago, being like, a month ago now maybe, talking about like, oh hey, like Destiny 2 is cool because you only need to play it 4 hours a week to really get everything out of it and be there. And like, that's not what the audience wants. Like the hardcore audience wants. And I would venture to guess that Bungie is seeing that behind the scenes, because when they put out that statement, right, about like, hey, we fucked you on the whole XP thing. Sorry about that. But let's talk about Destiny going forward. Their message was, we want this to be a game you sink thousands of hours into. We want you to do this. And so that sounded like the first, hey, we're going back to being the game that Fran's going to need to play 4,000 hours of to get everything and see everything, which for me was a turnoff with Destiny 1, where it was, I got to that and I was like, wait, what do I have to do to get to? Oh, fuck, that's way too much for me.
Can those worlds coexist?
I don't know. And it's interesting now because when Destiny put out the statement last week talking about this, canceled their live stream about what Curse of Osiris Part 3 was going to be about. Hey, let's put up a mea culpa. Here's everything that's happening. They talked about this update, but then we're also talking a lot about the next week's update, December 11th, I believe. And I think that they probably knew this update, Curse of Osiris, wasn't going to make hardcore people happy. And that's why I think they were very vocal about, here's what's coming next week, the week after, January, like trying to show that like,
there's more.
The train's on the tracks already, and we can't slam the brakes and immediately make what you want, but we're going to get there. But coming out of the gate in this, you know, it's funny. I feel like, we do so many shows here, but like there's kind of funny content and kind of funny games content. And I feel like in kind of funny land, when we're talking on the morning show or GOG and we talk about, man, in this kind of climate, you can't do or say that. We're definitely talking about sexual harassment or a joke or something like that, right? When we say in this kind of climate, you can't do that. In kind of funny games, we're talking about microtransactions. And that's the thing, that everyone is so gun shy, hairs on the back of their neck, like angry cat stance where they're all fluffed up, which is understandable because you got to fucking plant your foot somewhere. That to come out and remove shit that was already in the game and already was there, it's like,
yeah.
And then on top of that, it's the normal stuff. I was looking, Kotaku, all three of these things. Jason Schreier is the one who laid out the, hey, here's why everybody's mad about this locked content. I'm like, thank you, Jason. And then there was another one about there's this weapon right now that I had seen earlier, like in the morning when me and Jen were going to immigration, and I thought was in relation to this whole locked content business, but there's a weapon in there, the lens of somebody or other, and it's like fucking outrageously powerful, and it's breaking PvP. So that's bugged, and they're gonna fix that. And so like, it's the normal thing of, hey, here's all this new. Oh fuck! When it gets into the live server, that live environment, we didn't anticipate that. We didn't know that. We're not trophy people. We never thought of that.
Oh man. Well, I hope that they fix that stuff, and I hope they don't just like let it slide, because then, yeah, in this climate, you can't just put those things out.
And see, like, here's my thing, right? And this is where I think, I let me know in the comments below or Twitter or whatever. You know, if you're driving a car, just screaming out the window. I'll hear you. I feel like we're doing a good job, hopefully, of not being caught up too much in the news of it. I'm explaining the case, but explaining the ramifications more, because Games Daily cover this. Like I said, maybe it's all moot by the time you get there. But it's the fact of they're handling this all wrong.
Yeah.
You are Bungie, you are Destiny, you have Deej, who's this like beloved community guy. He's a great community manager, I think. And again, I know the Reddit doesn't agree with me. But where the fuck's the statement about this today? This is the easiest problem in the world to admit, to fix. It's run away.
We fucked up. We're fixing it.
I mean, PS4 trophies. I was talking to Brian, right? Yeah, Brian over there about it, and he's posting about it, and he's ranting about it. Kotaku's got an article about it. All you need to do is be like, hey, everybody, we see your feedback about the thing. It is this balancing act we were going for. We didn't think about the trophy aspect. We'll figure it out. Nipped in the bud, move on to the other thing, and go.
Yeah. Instead,
you're being quiet. You put out a statement of like, oh no, we're working on the lens thing. It's like,
oh no.
And this is where it gets so fucked up. And I understand wholeheartedly. I understand the fact that Bungie is hundreds of people, Activision is thousands of people. Like, it's not as easy for you and me to be like, oh, we published the wrong YouTube video, delete it.
Bad.
Joey put out a tweet saying, well, all right, cool, everybody knows what's happening, and like 20 people are angry.
Yeah.
Like, I understand there's chain of command and all these different things, but like, you're a live service game. You're supposed to be able to at least
adapt,
react, and talk, and be there, and talking to everybody about this. And I understand how, what we're recording at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, 3:40 in the afternoon. And this is something I've been seeing since I woke up on Twitter, and I'm sure it was popping off last night. And there's nothing to this. There's no statement. There's no, hey, it's just that. Thing. I don't know. Yeah. We're not in the business, and we don't know how it works. If I was working on these teams, if I was the community manager or something, we'd be live. We'd be live talking about it and fielding questions and doing AMAs and all this other stuff. And so it's weird. And I understand there's just lots of moving parts and a million different problems, blah, 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 blah. It just sucks.
Yeah.
Of course it fucking happens when I'm into it.
Yeah.
None of this shit could have happened with that. And maybe it did. It probably did. People were always mad at Destiny 1, I remember.
Yeah.
But I'm in it now, and I just want to have a good time and get more trophies,
good.
but everything's all fucked up. And
Well, that is sad. I hope that they fix that. I think that they will.
Have you been playing anything?
I haven't, actually. It's just been... I think the problem is that everything that I have been playing, we've been recording so many Gamescasts next to each other.
Yeah.
That it's like, I don't want to repeat the same things.
We're getting ready for holiday.
Yeah. It's like, we're just getting into that.
That is I guess that is the real struggle with what we have, right? Is that I'm still playing a lot of Pocket Camp. I mean,
yeah.
I just talked about it yesterday with Dan.
Mario.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then that's the thing is, I did boot up Cuphead. I was feeling a little... I missed it a bit.
You beat it though, right?
I beat it, yeah. But I was just like, oh man, I want more.
Yeah.
So I went back and I just played a couple bosses. And again, I just love that game so much. But yeah, I haven't really been playing too much. I got LA Noire because...
Oh yeah, you want G to play that, right?
Well, so in the random, we haven't played it yet. I just downloaded it. But what's really random is she listens to a bunch of podcasts, and one of the she listens to a lot of true crime stuff. And one of the ads they get, the same way that we have ads for movement watches or whatever, it was for LA Noire.
Nice.
She's like, this sounds awesome. And I'm like, I cannot believe an ad worked on you.
Yeah.
I cannot believe an ad for a video game worked on you. I cannot believe you want to play LA Noire. I'm like, all right, let's go.
That's the power of, you when I think of Rockstar, I think of a publisher / developer, but publisher in this sense. Which I guess isn't true because it's really whatever. I think about them working outside of the system, the traditional system. You know what I mean? Of we're not going to go to E3. We're going to make our own days, our own big events, all these different things. But in the same way that Rockstar's not doing paid Let's Plays for the most part that I know of. They do their own Twitch stream every so often with Laszlo and all that jazz. But to have it be that, yeah, all right, cool, we're putting out LA Noire. Video game people know about LA Noire. And even if they don't, the preview on IGN or whatever, that'll catch them. Where do we go? Oh, you know what's huge? All these true crime shows. And most people at least have some connection to a video game console. Yeah. Whether it be the boyfriend has a Switch, the girlfriend has a PlayStation 4 for Blu-rays. There's going to be a crossover there that we can get in the mix of and be like, hey, here's this game that doesn't require you to be a great gamer or anything like that, right? It's a story, and it's got the cast of Mad Men in it, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I was like, holy crap, got to jump on this one. So I'll keep you guys updated on how that goes. But just as a reminder, she could not beat the first world of Super Mario World. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I'm not feeling
What did you played Telltale games with her, right?
We tried playing Walking Dead. Season 1.
And she had the controller, or she just made decisions? She had
the controller, and it just took a long time. So then I was like, maybe I'll just do this, and you make the decision.
Where does she come?
I want her to get it. It just hasn't clicked.
Where does she come down on? Do you guys like the Planet of the Apes movies?
No, I mean, well, we haven't watched them.
Okay, it'd be interesting to see that game, Lost Frontier, right, where it is just you're watching a movie and it's just choices. You can use your phone if you want to and see if that does it. Or if you gave her the controller and she just got used to going right left.
She just needs to learn the controller. And I think that's hard to wrap your head around when you have no sense of it.
Sure.
Seeing her try to understand moving the dual sticks, so complicated if you've never done it before. So seeing her try to get through that has been fun. That's a word for it. Definitely. Now...
Can you believe that PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds comes out next week on Xbox?
I am so that's the thing is I'm very excited for this.
Yeah.
I was I think even on it might have been Gamescast or maybe it was Games Daily we were talking about it, and I was like, I'm fine on the PC with it, whatever.
Dork.
And it wasn't until I realized playing it on TV sounds so much fun.
Yeah.
Just sitting on the couch and playing, it's such a stupid thing, but I'm like, that sounds like a great way to play this game because it is so pick up and play if you want it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm quite excited.
Okay, good. Me too.
New map revealed today as well. The desert.
Already revealed. Oh, wait.
Well, it was revealed before, but now there's a lot of screenshots.
Well, the video's coming during the Game Awards, which of course already happened. Who won Trending Gamer? We don't know.
You're right.
Just saying, just putting it out there.
Now it's time for This Week in Gaming History.
Fine, do what you want.
1 year ago.
Let him in!
December 6th.
The doorbell keeps ringing, sorry.
2016. The Last Guardian came out on PS4. And a lot of people were little babies. I'm saying it. I said it. You're one of the babies.
I didn't like it.
I get it. Game had problems. But game was also awesome. Very
Game
awesome.
had problems. Game was
also approximately 3 to 4 hours too long. But hey, what do I know? I'm just a chump in a Star Wars shirt.
Very true, and it's a cool Star Wars shirt. I was thinking about Shadow Colossus remake today.
Yeah.
Like that's coming up. That's February
6th.
Yeah, that's right around the corner. Updated control scheme. All right, let's give it a shot. Let's go.
We'll see. The preview, no updated control scheme.
Right, but remember that was the thing where the preview event or the preview had it as default, but then they put out that it does have an updated control scheme.
We'll see what it is though. I don't know.
I heard it's all move.
That doesn't make me feel good. So we'll see. But no, Last Guardian, it was a special game, and again, it was just fucking caught in this horrible timing of just being 10 years too late.
Sure.
3 years ago, December.
Do you think about that game often though?
Last Guardian?
Yeah.
Not as much as I think about Shadow of the Colossus, but like there's things about that game that are really cool, and like the end specifically is like moving. But it's like it's one of those things where it's kind of like watching a Pixar movie. You know it's going to be good, so it needs to be very good for it to stand out. And I feel like Last Guardian, at the end of the day, when you look back at shit, it's not going to be on any list I have of like best games of all time.
Sure.
And it should be. So I think that's kind of the sad thing there.
Gotcha.
3 years ago, December 5th, 2014, Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker came out on Wii U.
Where the fuck is this game for Switch?
I don't know. I feel we will get it.
Sequel?
Maybe not it. Maybe a sequel.
Yeah, I think
maybe,
at this point
maybe
it would be a sequel, yeah.
Something or other. I was a little surprised it never came to the 3DS.
Sure.
They had a while where they were porting a lot of games over to the 3DS, where there's Mario Maker or the Ultimate NES Remix or what was the other one? Yoshi's Woolly World. Yeah, where they were like Wii U games and then they put them over there.
You want to talk about a criminally underplayed game?
Captain Toad.
Captain Toad was so good. It was so fun.
Yeah, and I love that they took the little mini game from 3D World and were just like, you know what? We're going to turn this into a full-featured, awesome puzzle game. Yeah, I'm not too. Damn, you're good at these things. You get that and you're Yoshi.
Hey, man, I'm just telling you, Nintendo, anytime you want me to jump, I think my Mario's good, too. Wahoo! Now that was bad. I'll admit that Wahoo was bad. Hold on, let me try again. Wahoo!
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Is that one good?
Yeah, that doesn't remind me of Mario. I don't know.
Huh.
Mario World.
I got a scratchy throat. Maybe that's got it.
But you're Yoshi though, and you're Toad. They're good. Those are
Bop-bop.
good. Those are good. And Greg, here you go.
Finally.
11 years ago, December 5th, 2006, Metal Gear Solid Portable Ops
Okay.
on the
I'll take it.
PlayStation Portable.
I'll take it.
How does that make you feel?
Good. It made me angry because it wasn't canon. That was upsetting. You know what I mean? Because he meets the Colonel in there, and I thought that was cool playing it. You meet Colonel Campbell.
It is canon.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't canon.
It is.
Portable Ops?
Portable Ops is canon. Acid's not canon.
Right. And I could have sworn Portable Ops and Portable Ops 2 weren't as well.
They are.
You're sure? There's nowhere for people to correct you.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Keep talking. I'm going to Google.
You Google it. But I mean, that was the thing. I'm just like, oh, cool, Metal Gear on PSP. Oh my God, it's not garbage. Oh my God, they're doing cool things. Like, yeah, I'm meeting Campbell for the first time as Big Boss. And granted, that never really comes back. I mean, like, comes back in storylines, but you know what? Where is he? Why aren't we hanging out with him all the time? Getting to hear his sexy voice. That's really all I had. Portable Ops 2 came around. I didn't care too much. It's like, all right, more Portable Ops.
I mean, so it is canon, but there are think pieces up of 5 reasons why Kojima probably doesn't consider Portable Ops canon. But officially it is.
According to who?
According to, I don't know, the Metal Gear, that timeline that came out with MGS4. Remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The database.
Yeah. All right. Maybe I'm just part of the Kojima cover-up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hideo hits me up. He says, Greg, don't acknowledge that. That's canon. I say, I won't do it. You did something cool there with Campbell. He's like, I know I did, but...
We got a question today on a Games Daily that we didn't get to that was like, what are the chances of Kojima and Konami and this whole thing being a Kojima crazy thing and Death Stranding's actually Silent Hills? And it's like, there's no chance, but like,
that'd be awesome.
Imagine.
That'd be awesome.
Like Konami, like imagine Konami just like suiciding as a company.
Konami's like, you know what? It's fucking like Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler behind the scenes. Like, we're gonna take a huge bath,
but we're
doing this. We're gonna lose all the stock, but it's gonna be a fucking great goddamn moment 5 years from now when we've been
for a single game.
We've been drugged through the mud. Everybody hates us. Nobody wants to buy us or support us. Hashtag
Cinco
fuck Konami
machines.
is everywhere.
16 years ago, two separate things happened on December 3rd, 2001. Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy, came out on PlayStation 2. And that was, we've talked about a lot on the show, Jack, just in relation to Crash and all that stuff. But you see that mountain, you can go there. Started with that game, as far as I'm concerned. I remember watching a preview for it on a PlayStation Underground disc.
Disc that came with the magazine. Yeah.
That was fun. I was like, oh shit.
I remember.
I didn't really like the game too much.
Oh really? That sucks.
I'm not a Jack guy.
We talked about it. I know. I am a Jack guy, and I remember renting that from Blockbuster and coming home with like no expectations and being like, "Fuck, I'm really enjoying this. This is a really fun platformer I like a lot, and I like Daxter. Of course, Jack silent in that one.
Yeah. And there was Daxter on the PSP.
There was. Yeah.
And then Smash Brothers Melee came out on GameCube. And that was a huge moment for me.
Yeah.
It was weird. It got delayed. It was supposed to be a GameCube launch title. GameCube came out 2 weeks before then.
They needed that time, man.
And they're like, they needed that 2 weeks, and then they eventually got it out. So I had a GameCube launch day, had no games for it.
Great. Good call.
But I would hold that controller
and
imagining what Smash Bros. Would play like. Oh my God. And then we got it. And good Lord, was Melee a game.
Yeah.
Talk about trophies.
Everywhere.
That game. So many trophies.
Smash, man.
290 trophies.
What an amazing run of
190
games.
Trophies.
What a crazy fucking idea. And just, God, how perfect is that game?
Well, Melee in particular was such a special thing because it was like Smash Brothers on N64, of course everyone loved, and it's so much fun. But Melee was like, no. We're going to make this a freaking thing.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel it went from spin-off to AAA franchise because of Melee. And like the jump that they had from 12 characters to 25, that's huge.
Yeah.
Adding awesome single player. The adventure mode was super cool. It's like, yeah, platforming with all these different characters. They didn't go deep enough with some of it, but like doing the escape from Zeeb's thing and all that, fucking awesome. 16 years ago on December 6, 2001, Max Payne. On PlayStation 2. I never played it.
Really? Yeah. You missed out.
But he had a stupid face.
Yeah, well,
and
that's a real man.
Slow-mo.
Yeah.
Jumping. Well, that's a real man.
It's a guy from Remedy. I know. He's a nice guy. No, Max Payne was awesome. Max Payne was another one of those games where you're like, fuck, this is what games can be. They don't, you know what I mean? In terms of like pushing a narrative and being so entrenched in a genre of like, we're doing that hard-boiled, I'm a detective and this is my story. And like the fact that it was, let's jump in, let's shoot shit, let's do it in slow motion, let's make it, fucking cool.
It felt cool.
It felt cool to kill people, but then also it is this like fucking crazy story of Max being wrecked with guilt and like failing his family, and then the flashbacks, which and it's not even flashbacks as much as like the nightmare scenes of following trails of blood to find dead family members, and it kind of sucked because like he'd fall off and die, and I was like, that wasn't good, but it set up how fucking screwed up Max was in the head. I felt for him when you play that game. Like Max Payne's awesome, and I liked Max Payne 2 as well. And then I don't remember if there must have been a traditional 3, and then it was the Rockstar reboot.
Fuck, I don't know.
Not even reboot, I guess. Far-flung sequel of like I'm shaved head Max now, and I have a beard. I'm like, all right.
I think that was just 3.
Was that 3? Was that Max? That was Max Payne 3. You're right.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if there was one in between those. That one I was like, I'd much rather see. I'd love to see Remedy do it again. Just be like, hey, all right, cool. Let's make a real Max Payne. No offense to the Rockstar one, which is a fine game and like was technically impressive. It just wasn't Max Payne. I could totally go for a beautiful HD, wonderfully acted and mocapped. Hey, I'm hard drinking whiskey and I'm in the shitty detective agency and all that crap. Like Max Payne's something special.
Something special.
What's that?
17 years ago on December 6, 2000, American McGee's Alice on PC. You don't fuck with that?
No, I don't fuck with that at all.
Oh, I fuck with that so
really?
hard. I mean, are you kidding me? A super dark, gritty Alice in Wonderland? Nothing cooler than that to me. That is so freaking awesome. The game, not that great. Never a big fan of it, but it was a game I pushed through because I'm like, this concept is freaking rad.
Well,
and then I remember there's all the Todd McFarlane, like Wizard of Oz, crazy ass action figures they made and shit. And then there was the Alice ones. And then they did eventually make a sequel on 360.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that one.
That was the one where I remember like, I never even fucking paid that game a moment of attention when it originally came out, right? And so then when we were at IGN and like announced this one and people started losing their mind, I was like, who the fuck cares about this? And sure enough, the game came out and nobody cared.
Yeah, well, that was the problem. I mean, it is definitely a Mirror's Edge type situation.
Yeah.
Where it's like everyone wants a sequel until it happens. But I think the problem was that the second one was so promising, and that it's like, oh, okay, cool. This style of game makes more sense, and with the controller, this is going to be a lot better. And then it wasn't good. If it was good, I think it would have been a different story.
Sure. That's the tale with most bad video games.
That's true. That's true. but Alice, man, I love that shit. Probably the first PC game I ever bought. Yeah.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
First PC game. Oh, mine was Carmen Sandiego.
All right.
I remember that being a huge deal because we had, of course, my parents, not being technical savvy, bought some knockoff computer that was not Windows and had like the fucking weird ass. It wasn't. I mean, you were booting in DOS or whatever, but some fucking horrible knockoff computer. And I remember I was playing at school all the time. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, and where's time is Carmen Sandiego? And there was some fucking PC video game store that wasn't close to our house. God only knows why we went to this store, but we'd drive over there and they had to like order it. And then they called, they had it, and we went and got it and brought it back. And sure enough, it didn't work. Like I had all these floppy disks I'm putting in, and they're not reading at all. I'm like, oh, God damn, this fucking fake computer.
PC gaming, man. 21 years ago, December 3rd, 1996, Cruisin' USA came out on N64, as did Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. Everyone always loved Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. I just didn't get it. I didn't like the controls. It's Star Wars, so obviously I love that.
Sure, you played it and enjoyed it.
But it was just like the controls never quite felt right to me, and it was N64 generation. I also played that a little bit later, so it like really fell off. But Cruisin' USA. I get it. Not a good game. What a fun game. There was a round table near my house that had it, and we played that shit all the time.
Yeah.
And Cruisin' USA, Cruisin' World, Cruisin' Exotica. Oh, I was fucking in. And now there's a new one. Cruisin' Blast, I think it is. And they have one at Tanforan, the mall.
Oh.
And me and Gia were there, and I was like, I need to play this. And I did. And it has a theme song by the same people.
Did she do the thing where she like held up like a handkerchief and dropped it, so you took off?
Yeah, it was great. But yeah, those games are fun. We should do a party mode with them.
Do you want to know how spoiled I was? And this is,
I would love to.
I didn't even think about it till this moment. That on my Sega Saturn, I had a driving wheel for like Daytona USA or whatever. And like, I don't even like racing games. I don't even like. How did that happen?
I bought a N64 racing wheel. Granted, it was one of those Mad Catz $20 ones, not like a real fancy one. For Cruisin' USA.
Nice.
I really liked that shit.
Yeah, I bet Kevin liked it too.
23 years ago on December 3rd, 94, the PlayStation 1 came out in Japan.
There it is. There it is.
Yeah.
Changed the world, shocked it, changed the game.
It's nuts.
We're old.
Because I think back and it's like, I remember those consoles coming out, PS1 and N64. Like, if you were to just ask me, like, oh, probably like 96. It's like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
But I guess it is Japan. It is December, so.
I remember being at Patrick Finella's house and he had it. And
PS1?
I scoffed at this thing so hard. Because I was like, I'll accept fucking Nintendo in this war that I'm in. You know what I mean? Like, I'll understand why you went that way. But this thing with squares and X's, what does it even mean?
What is it?
I remember, like, what are we, this is where they're too good for ABs? You know what I mean? What are they doing over here?
Here they are.
Fucking blocky head ass game day players I was seeing running around there. Me and Poe were mocking it because we were playing fucking Madden, whatever, on Sega Saturn. We're like, oh, graphics are so much better on our end.
23 years ago, December 8th, 1994, Lion King came out on the Genesis. And if there's one thing about that game that matters to me, it was the Timon and Pumbaa bug eating minigame where the bugs would fall from the top and you just got to eat them. And I loved that shit.
Nice.
Otherwise, the Disney games, overrated. I'm saying it.
Yeah, that was a weird one when they put out that Disney pack and everybody's like, oh, Tim's going to be so excited. And you're like, I don't like any of these games.
Yeah, no, too floaty.
Yeah.
Way too floaty.
Yeah. But everybody has a hard on for them. And I mean, nostalgia, of course. That's why. But
yeah, and then, I get it to an extent.
Sure.
But too floaty. Now it's time for reader mail. You can go to kindafunny.com/Gamescast to leave questions, just like all these beautiful people did. My dude Moore saying has a question.
Here we go.
With the announcement that Armored Core isn't dead, do you think the virtual reality support could bring the series back to prominence?
Oh, Moore. That is actually an interesting idea for a change.
It is. No. While a cool idea, I think we've already seen too many tests of similar style things. Eve Valkyrie being in the cockpit, flying around, all that stuff. Then there was that robot game that was the tech demo-y one that came in that experience pack.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right? That was very similar to this. And I feel like people get it.
Skydance Interactive put out like Archangel or some shit like that where you're in a mech and it was not good. But no.
It could be interesting.
You say this. If they put Imagine if it was it was Resident, not the gameplay of Resident Evil, but that thing, right, of taking a franchise, putting it in VR, and making it matter, and making it AAA, and like it's a great way of what was the Steel Battalion? It's like taking that and putting that all in here could be cool. My example, right? When was the last time you remember anyone giving a shit about Ace Combat?
Yeah.
Never. And then they were like, Ace Combat 7's VR, and everybody's like, oh, that's kind of fucking cool. And we talked about it, and I played it, and I'm pretty sure it still hasn't come out, but
No, it hasn't.
yeah. I remember playing it. I played it at Judges Week, and I was like, all right, yeah, this is a cool flight sim. I'm car sick.
Yeah.
I'm feeling the G's when I do these
Feeling
things.
all the G's.
So, I mean, that's actually a really interesting question, because I do think that would, I don't think, I mean, it would, God, you store LaCroix all over this place. You're like a nut. No, you're like a squirrel hiding nuts. I don't think it would sell 6 million copies or something, but I do think suddenly if you made a really cool mech game in there.
You know what would be interesting?
What's that, buddy?
Steel Battalion VR, but with the controller. I don't know how they'd map that.
No, that's not good.
But why not?
You have the thing in your head. How are you going to see the controller?
That's what I'm saying. That's why there have to be some way to map it so it's right. But like you see the controller, a digital version of the same controller.
Oh, I thought you meant you wanted a real controller in front of you too.
Yes.
No, I don't like that.
Real controller, that's what you're playing with the fucking controller. Why can't you play with the other
Just play with the moves or your Oculus touches, but on moves you'd at least have the fingers and just it'd be like Star Trek Bridge Crew.
No. I want to like really truly have that next level immersion beyond what we experienced with VR, which would be no, you see that thing in the fake world, you actually feel it in the real world.
Right.
But it would need to be perfectly lined up or else you're gonna stub your fingers.
Yeah, hurt yourself real bad. You don't want that.
That's gonna be bad.
No, you can't do that. That's not.
Then you're throwing up and stubby fingers. You're like, ah!
I feel like Oculus has those gloves now, right? The fingertip gloves. You could kind of get away with it with that at some point, but
that's what I'm saying. I want that. I want to feel it.
I want to feel it.
Feel it all. I feel like that would be really cool.
You know what would be really cool is Zone of the Enders in VR.
They announced that.
Perfect. There you go. I just made you $1 million, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Awful Waffle. Speaking of Kojima, favorite Metal Gear Solid cutscene of all time, or Kojima trailer.
No, they can't do both.
Those are two different things. To answer the trailer question, I have two answers. Answer number one is the first Metal Gear Solid 4, or maybe it's the second. It's the Raiden fight. Okay. Where he's all fucking ninja dude, and it's like, what the fuck is going on? That was awesome, him versus Vamp. And then Metal Gear Solid 4 had a launch trailer that made it look like a Hollywood movie. And it had the voiceover, and it had the whole, like, in the world, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, this is freaking cool as hell. I downloaded it. I saved it. I still have that video file.
I know 95% of people, when they ask, oh, what's your favorite cutscene, right? Is Big Boss, First Boss. The end of Metal Gear Solid 3. Flower petals in the air, blah, blah, talking to each other. My favorite cutscene from Metal Gear would be Metal Gear Solid, the death of Sniper Wolf. When Hal runs up to her and he, no, look at the stars, the soldiers on the battlefield, and they talk about like loving each other, even though she didn't really love him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the one I remember. Like me and Poe switched that controller in the basement, just back and forth, playing different things, and he was always the better sniper. And so when he finally beat her, it's like this moment of elation, and then both of us like these teenage boys enraptured of like what's happening in this like weird melodrama, this relationship between the guy who peed his pants and this woman who wanted to kill us. It's like, so fuck funny. Yeah, tell us all about it.
I think my favorite cutscene, again, this is also, I feel, very cliche, but Metal Gear Solid 4, the microwave segment, where it's
you're playing that though, right?
But it's half cutscene.
Okay.
Which is,
I mean, technically, I guess all these video games are cutscenes.
Yeah. But it's like that scene, I liked how it's like you're going, but then also the screen was cut and you were seeing like the
that was cool.
Video
that was cool.
of everything happening. It felt very like a perfect just kind of encapsulation of the entire series. And it's just like, this is the end.
Yeah.
You know, and then Metal Gear Solid 5. But whatever. Very cool. Very freaking cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Trailers I find hard to nail. But it's because I like the game so much, I think. That I just don't remember the trailers. Which one blew me away?
Although, honestly, Metal Gear Solid 5's trailer, the debut trailer, with the fucking
kept
song.
You waiting, huh?
No, not Ground Zeroes.
Okay.
The one where it showed it was open world. Showed you guys on the horse. Yeah, the one with the song. I was just like, holy shit, this is huge. and they delivered on that.
Yeah, yeah.
Very impressive. Speaking of delivering on things,
Here we go. Let's talk about our sponsor, Blue Apron. They deliver. No, I'm kidding. They didn't
that would've
sponsor
been
us.
I was thinking in the shower today, as I often do, about Nintendo.
Yeah, deliver me in the show.
And I got to give them a shout out for this year. They had no games delayed. Every promise they made for the Switch games happened.
Okay.
Like Mario, Zelda, and all those, like those happened. But in addition to that, like Xenoblade Chronicles 2 came out worldwide. What the fuck? I would have never thought that. When the January thing happened, it's like, yeah, this year. I was like,
Hell no, get out of here.
hell no. And
Yeah.
it did.
All right, yeah, good
for
point.
them.
Good call. Good call.
Mark Freeman says,
Indie
I just
boy.
bought a PS4 Pro, but I don't have a 4K TV. What game, including VR, will best show off the improvements from what you have seen? I feel the easy answer is Horizon.
But he's talking about like what?
Just a 1080p TV
Okay.
with a PS4 Pro. Do you have any answer there?
No, I'm blind. I don't know. This is what I talk about. You know what I mean? Where I have the PlayStation 4 Pro and cool. There's not been a game I've put on. We were playing Everybody's Golf the other day, Jen and I.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, you know what? It's a Pro now. I'll put on 60 frames a second. Did it? Played it. I was like, oh no, don't like that. Put it back to normal. I don't like this. Is weird looking moving that way. It just didn't look right.
That's so weird.
I was like, I know. I've played 50 hours of Everybody's Golf or whatever. I know what the game's supposed to look like. So when it's not running that way, like, nah, I'm out of this. No, thank
I'm
you.
out.
But like, yeah, I played Horizon on a normal PlayStation 4, and then obviously took months off, and then played the DLC on a PlayStation 4 Pro, and I was just like, as beautiful as ever.
Yeah.
And I still haven't run a VR game on it there. I think I'm gonna do more.
I haven't either.
Most of my VR stuff at the desk because it's just 15-minute bursts. I have it right there. It's all set up permanently.
Travis Welcome says, it's been a year since Final Fantasy 15 came out. How do you feel about the game looking back? I am happy it's done.
Yeah.
Like looking back at it, that game is similar to Last Guardian, but in a different way because I care a lot more about Final Fantasy 15. I know that as people were getting ready for it, and once they made the change from Versus 13 to what it became, people were like, oh, this boy band thing, I hate that. I'm like, I'm all about this. Boy band, bachelor party, road trip. This sounds great. And I just wish that the game delivered on the story that was promised. On any actual iteration of stories that were promised, whether it was the Versus 13 story that sounded awesome, like so awesome, and then we didn't get that, or the story promised via the dozens of trailers that came out for Final Fantasy 15. They dropped the ball with the story. The end of the game, story-wise, is so great. The beginning of the game is so interesting. It's just from the moment they find out that King Regis has died.
Oh, the king's dead?
It's just like, oh, this is so just melodramatic and bad. It's not like the right tone at all. And then eventually it picks up pace and it gets really good, but it's like there's too big of a chunk in between that just felt like it felt like Justice League. 2 movies in one.
Gotcha.
But stories in one. Like just like if there was one vision, I think it would have been so much better. And I am very interested to see what they do next with Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
And someone tweeted at me today, being before Game Awards happened, of like how crazy it would be if you were right. And at Game Awards, Project Octopath gets revealed as a Final Fantasy game. I'd be freaking really happy
That'd be
about
crazy,
that.
yeah.
But we'll see.
No, I won't. Remember Florence and the Machine?
I do.
Be afraid.
I listen to that song all the time. I bought the soundtrack.
Nice.
Cosmic Zero, best Switch game that isn't Breath of the Wild or Mario Odyssey.
Conga Master. It's a great game. Don't knock it.
I'm not knocking.
Okay, good.
Just
Don't be
smiling.
hating. Rocket League. Mario Kart Double Dash. I don't know if that does he mean Mario can't be in the title. And not Double Dash, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm tired. I'm sick.
8 Deluxe.
Yeah. But Mario Kart, if that counts. I don't know.
I'm trying to think like just what game have I put the most hours into on the
Minecraft.
Switch?
Minecraft.
That aren't those two or Mario Kart. I mean, I do think Mario Kart's a good answer. Like
Yeah, great answer.
I've spent so much time playing the game, and it's something I go back to a lot on airplanes. Where I'm like, fuck it, I'll do a Grand Prix. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun. But Sonic Mania is probably my answer.
Sonic Mania.
Like I really like that game, and there is a lot of replayability. And because the levels are so short, and there's a lot of collectibles and a lot of things to do, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm happy that I'll have that game to just jump into whenever the hell I'm on
Sure.
a plane, which is a lot.
You are on a plane a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Doom.
Mm.
It's cool to see people enjoying Skyrim,
Mhm.
having a great time with that. Cool to see Bethesda supporting them.
Hell yeah.
Golf Story, some would say. I wouldn't be one of them.
Mario plus Rabbids, some would say as well.
Sure, of course.
I wouldn't be one of them either. Like it a lot, but it's not in the same echelon of those.
No, not at all.
Zakagawa brings a question we've answered a bazillion times, but we haven't answered it in 2017, and things have changed. What you think?
Mr. Shifty. That's the one I was
Shifty?
thinking. Yeah. They patched it.
They did.
To
It's
fix the
still
frame rate.
like, I don't know. That game looked cooler than it actually was.
Sure.
Zakagawa says, do you see sports games adopting a season pass method? For example, instead of EA releasing a Madden every year,
Sure.
they could follow the Rainbow Six model and release a season pass for that upcoming NFL season.
They've talked about this briefly, kind of. Not really, but we talked about it on Kind of Funny Games Daily a while ago, where they were talking about maybe in the future one day more. I think you see the reaction they've gotten right now to microtransactions and everything else. I think even if they were moving towards that, that puts this on hold. Let alone the fact that it's all dollars and cents for better or worse in video games. And if you're going to pay $60 every year, every 9 months for these games or whatever, right? Every year, every 9 months for a development cycle, then no, why would they do that? Because they're not going to get you to spend $60 on a roster pack or in a new stadium and this thing. Games are still, even though it sounds crazy, sports games included, and especially, I guess, let's just dial this back. Sorry, I'm sick. It's all coming on to me as I go. Sports games, even though they are what they are right now, and it's all blah, blah, every game is a tune-up to the engine under the hood, and it does something different, whether it be physics or that, or the other. And while that's cool and exciting and makes the game better, that's a really hard pitch every year. Of like, you need to get this for the latest rosters and EA's new collision detection, and everybody's like, I don't fucking care about that. But when it is Madden, and a new Madden, it's like, all right, cool, it's this and better commentary and better pass detection and blah blah. That's more exciting, or at least more acceptable. Like, okay, here's $60, but it would be the same thing of it's $60 once. Whereas even if it was like, all right, cool, we're gonna. It's the best of both worlds. They don't need to. They don't need to is the answer. Because right now you pay $60, and then if you're one of the people who loves MUT, you're buying packs of cards and doing different things with that.
Yeah. I also think that, not that everyone's watching what everyone else is doing this closely, but I'm sure that EA and them have looked at like Capcom and Street Fighter V, and I know Street Fighter is different than a sports game, but people know that if a Street Fighter game comes out, there will be revisions and they will be released. Sure. If you get Street Fighter V, you're going to get Super Street Fighter V. You're going to get Ultra Mega whatever the fuck Street Fighter. And with Street Fighter V, they made the decision to not do that, and they're like, we're just going to put it out, and there'll be updates and patches, but it'll all be in this game. And then everyone was upset because it was content light and all that stuff. And it opens up such a can of worms, and everything gets critiqued harder, I think, when every nickel and dime seems to mean more.
Yeah.
So
now that microtransactions and the tools of free to play have and the tools of games of service have infiltrated a $60 boxed game, there's really no need. You know what I mean? I think we're thinking too much of a philanthropist route or something to that effect. This would be something revolutionary and groundbreaking that you would need to do. If the NFL license, and I'm only speaking really in NFL ways, if the NFL license was up for grabs again and you had somebody like Sega shaking up the market and doing crazy shit and putting a game out for $20 or $30, whatever it was, it would be this. We're like, all right, cool, we're putting out the NFL 2K platform, and it's there, and every year, for $15 we'll give you the latest rosters. If you want to go up, there's this pricing tier structure, or we're microtransactioning, getting you here or there, and it would be, let's see how that challenges EA. But for EA, with most of their sports games, right, they're fat and happy and they're fun. Same thing with MLB The Show, right? Like, I mean, we had Christian Phillips on Kind of Funny Games Daily who talked really openly about it because he's no longer at Sony San Diego, but real openly about how they brought microtransactions to the show and how they thought to make it fair and blah, blah, blah. And like, again, how microtransactions and building your fantasy teams and having, in-game currency merges with a sports game in a way that you don't need to think about it. And until somebody gets to a point, which developers I don't think ever will, because they are trying to make the best game every year, regardless of what you think of them, until they get to a point where they're like, that we've perfected the football engine, the FIFA engine, the baseball engine. We don't need to worry about that anymore, with the exception of upkeep, this, that, and the other. There's never going to be a thing where it's a platform, because right, like you launch a Destiny or a DC Universe Online with this is what it is, and we build from that. Everything changes year to year in some respect.
Two Stone Bird says, have you ever not replayed a game because you didn't want to go through a tutorial again? Yes. Kingdom Hearts 2. I wanted to play it very badly. Replay it.
Yeah.
And oh my god, it's not so much a tutorial as much as it's the opening section, but like it is very tutorial-y and handholdy. It's like 5 hours long. There's these dumbass kids eating fucking ice cream, and I'm like, I just can't, dude. I just can't.
I don't think. There's definitely been games I've stopped. I don't have a great example of it, but it's one of the smallest violins in the world problems of being who we are and what we do, where it's like, man, it's awesome when I get to go play game X for 2 or 3 hours, Horizon, before a game's even released. But then when you walk away without your save and you restart that game and you play that again, it sucks because what I found is I'll be so into those 2 hours when I'm previewing it and playing it. And then when I get home, it's like, oh, I can't skip this. All right, on my phone. Okay, that's done. And then it is though.
Takes you out of
but wait,
experience.
what was that guy?
Yeah.
What was his thing again? You miss little things like that then fuck up the experience. You know what would be a great game as a platform? 2K takes my idea and makes the fucking wrestling AKI games again. Because that would be, hey, here is the base gameplay, and it's all set. And then it would be, all right, cool. Now we are going to, every month, put out 2 new wrestlers or whatever, and they will come with their own moves, and there'll be a patch that's in there, but you unlock them through just paying for this. So it makes it, you could do it as well as like, hey, here's new arenas, here's new ring aprons, commentary, but you don't need to worry about. But
special moves, fun things like that.
Yeah,
I'm into it.
Yeah, okay.
I like that. It's a good idea, Greg.
WW, just give me a license and then teach me how to make games.
Final question. It's a long one, but a good one.
Okay.
This comes from Zach Wagger.
Zach Wagger.
All right, folks, let me set this up for you. Last week, I drove nearly 300 miles just to see the Symphony of the Goddess concert. That's Legend of Zelda music for those of you who may not know. I've been lucky enough to see this twice now since they started doing these concerts. During the performance, they can make an hour's worth of music feel like an amazing 2 hours when you check the time. You'll wonder how they got that much music into such a short amount of time. Then, the second half will fly by with the symphony once again, making you wonder how they did it. Seeing this performance made me get goosebumps on nearly every song they played, making me want to play at least 5 different Zelda games then and there. It's an experience I strongly suggest for anyone, because Zelda music is truly one of a kind, where those who have never heard of the game will come out appreciating the performance they just saw. I'm a person who listens to rock and metal majority of the time, so me sitting in attendance for an actual symphony concert is out of the ordinary. With all that said, I'd like to know, which game or game franchise would you pay money to go see performed live by a symphony with a choir if it calls for it? Or better, which video game music producer's music would you pay money to see performed? Thanks for the show and the work you guys put into everything you do. It's appreciated by this guy and many more. Well, thank you, Zach. Thank you.
Easy answer, Zach. The WWE N60. I'm kidding. Metal Gear, of course. Peace Walker is my favorite soundtrack for a game, period, let alone the fact I remember walking around Mizzou with the Metal Gear Solid 2 medley I had downloaded or whatever off Kazam or Kazaa. Sorry. LimeWire is actually what I used. That's what it was. And download off there. Yep. And then it would like, ding, ding, and it would roll into the end.
It goes to the sneaking infiltration one, and then it ends with the patriotic ass fucking the choir shit. Love that shit. Yeah. So good.
Fucking ripping they ripped off Russians or something, right? And that's why they couldn't fucking put it. God damn it.
And they really did.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. If you don't know what we're talking about, Google Metal Gear Solid theme song
Lawsuits.
Russia.
Yeah,
you'll find it. It's the reason that the Metal Gear Solid theme that you know from 1 and 2 are no longer in the franchise at all.
Fucking sucks, man.
They're featured a little bit in Metal Gear Solid 3's end credits, but nice. It's just like a little nice denouement.
What a denouement?
Fucking through word there. Motif is what I was looking for.
Okay.
I knew it was all one of those words.
Gotcha.
I have actually seen a bazillion of these concerts. This is like right up my alley.
Oh, I've seen Video Games Live, the Tommy Tallarico joint when that first started. Actually, yeah, I guess I went and saw that like the end of my second week of IGN, 2007. When GDC was here. GDC ended and Craig Harris took me to that.
Oh, I was at that show too.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Small world.
I have a photo with me with Sonic. I should look and see if you're in the background because that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be very, very cool. I've been to Video Games Live, I think 7 times.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, no, I really like this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's production.
Oh, yeah.
It's music that I love, emotions that I love with video and imagery that I love. Like, it's just totally right up my alley. But I've seen Video Games Live like 7 times. Which is fun because it's Tommy Tallarico's thing. He used to do it with Jack White, and And what's awesome is it's a bunch of different games. So it's like it'll be Sonic and then Mass Effect and then Metal Gear and then so it's like it's really a wide breadth. And even now they include things like Dota, League of Legends, and like they get all over the place. And it makes you appreciate. Like I've played games because I liked the music that they played. Civilization 4, I played it just because I really liked the piece they did at Video Games Live, and I really enjoyed it. I've seen the Final Fantasy Distant Worlds concerts where it's just it's only Final Fantasy music. And I was lucky enough to go to one where Nobuo Uematsu, who's the composer of all those, was there as well. And I was like, this is fucking awesome. And he came up for like one of the songs for One Winged Angel. And I loved that. I've seen Distant Worlds twice, I think. And it's cool. It's cool when you get to go to one that is just dedicated to a franchise. Yeah. Because they can get kind of more like
in the weeds.
And I've still never seen Symphony of the Goddess, which upsets me. And I haven't seen the Pokemon Symphonic Evolutions. I've watched it on YouTube a bazillion times because it's fucking dope. But I love those. I would love to see a Metal Gear 1. They did a Metal Gear Solid concert, but it was only in Japan.
Gotcha.
A while back to celebrate around the time when Metal Gear Solid 4 came out.
While not a Video Games Live or a concert to itself, I thought 2014's Game Awards, which, correct me if I'm wrong, were the first Game Awards outside of Spike, were the ones in Vegas, along with the first PSX. And that was where Imagine Dragons came out and played with the Mario composer. You know, I'm not...
Koji Kondo.
Exactly. Yeah. He played piano and did like a Mario medley, and then Imagine Dragons came out and did stuff. I was in the audience, and you know how I don't have that nostalgia for Mario, and I was like, this is fucking amazing.
I mean this because of the time of recording this Game Awards, we haven't seen it yet, but I heard that this year's Game Awards are going to have a freaking epic music performance. And
I heard it's Chuck Berry doing Toe Jam and Earl's entire soundtrack.
Toe Jam and Earl's soundtrack was composed by Tommy Tallarico.
All right, there you go. We brought it full circle. And
they performed that at Video Games Live once. I saw, and that was pretty cool. But there's a whole bunch of CDs that you can buy. I'm a huge fan. My iPod's full of this shit. But Video Games Live, there's 5 volumes of that. The London
Philharmonic.
It's not that.
London
Symphony Orchestra, LSO. They have a 2-volume thing that's just greatest video game music live, and it's really good. That's probably the highest quality of anything. So if you want to just nice little dabble, I recommend getting that.
Get you dabble on.
Shit's dope. My favorite orchestrated CD ever is the Super Smash Brothers Melee promotional concert that they did that you only got if you had if you were subscribed to Nintendo Power back when that came out.
Okay.
And they just play all like medleys of every game in Smash Brothers, which is pretty much just a Nintendo love letter, and it is so damn freaking cool. And I would love to see that live, but that'll never happen.
Oh, yeah. I feel like if there was one thing I don't appreciate efficiently or effectively in video games, it's music and like soundtracks. Where, you know, we talked about it this year in the Game Awards rundown, where I was like, for best score, I was like Destiny 2, because if a game shakes me out of playing it, to be like, what, this is all amazing, the way everything's coming together. And even in the Curse of Osiris, there's been a moment where like, poof, you came through and it was like, holy shit. And I was like, oh, and I yelled for Andy. I didn't realize he was at lunch with you guys, but he wasn't here. I was like, this is fucking awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean? But like the times like Uncharted, right? It has a theme and all this other stuff, and like, you know, and like it's just that I don't think about too often. Really? Oh my god! But it's there, and it's such a crucial part. Like,
Uncharted,
you know,
seems so good. Uncharted is one of the ones that I'm pretty sad. I don't like the arrangement they play at Video Games Live, and it's not like bombastic enough, and it doesn't hit right. But yeah, Uncharted's great, and Halo, come the fuck on. Halo is so epic, and they've had so many songs that the Video Games Live Halo medley is perfect. Check that shit out. I can talk about this shit all day because I'm a fucking nerd. But anyway, thank you guys very much for joining us this week. We will see you again very soon, every weekday, twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames.
You can go to patreon.com/kindoffunnygames too. If you like what we do, kick us a few bucks. Keep the lights on.
We'll appreciate that.
Gamescast will be back though on Patreon Friday. You can watch it live when we record it.
You can get the record, Greg.
You can. We're cutting. Bye.